Katie Price has lived in more houses than most people change cars. But none of them are more infamous, more cursed, more disturbing than the so-called Mucky Mansion. This is the story of Katie Price's houses, the lavish beginnings, the spectacular downfalls, the endless disasters, and the terrifying rumors about what really went on inside those crumbling walls. And stick around, because at the end, we'll dive into the shocking whispers that Katie might now be planning a move to Wakefield, Yorkshire. Yes, Wakefield. Before we begin, don't forget to hit subscribe. We've got the full, unfiltered story of Katie Price's scandals, secrets, and meltdowns every week. And you don't want to miss what's coming. Katie Price has always chased the idea of a dream home, but every time she gets close, the dream collapses into a nightmare. Her early properties were the picture of glamour. Huge gated mansions, designer kitchens, swimming pools, stables. The kind of places you'd expect from a glamour model turned multi-millionaire. But here's the thing about Katie Price. She never stayed still. She moved house after house, each one bigger than the last, each one more dramatic, and each one ultimately destined to fall apart, financially, emotionally, and physically. Her properties became extensions of her personal chaos. When her relationships imploded, the houses did too. When her finances collapsed, the walls seemed to crumble around her. And then came the house that would define her and haunt her. The sprawling 9-bedroom estate in Horsham, West Sussex. On paper, it was the ultimate luxury, worth £2 million. Acres of land, a sweeping driveway, the kind of property that screams celebrity lifestyle. But inside, it was something else entirely. It became known to the tabloids and to the entire country as the Mucky Mansion. Why? Because the house wasn't just messy. It wasn't just untidy. It was a disaster zone. Broken furniture, graffiti scrawled across the walls, piles of rubbish left to rot, a discarded horse box rusting in the garden, Katie's infamous pink Range Rover parked like an abandoned prop from another life. When cameras were finally allowed inside, the scenes were shocking. Viewers compared it to a horror film. Stained walls, collapsed ceilings, toilets in a state you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. Katie insisted she could turn it around. Channel 4 even gave her a reality show to document the cleanup. But instead of a comeback story, what viewers saw was a woman drowning in chaos. And the nickname stuck. The Mucky Mansion, a house of death and hauntings. But here's where it gets darker. Katie herself admitted she believed the house was haunted. She claimed the spirit of a small child lingered in the corridors. She said her anxiety skyrocketed every time she pulled up the driveway. At one point, she revealed she needed therapy just to be able to walk into her own home. And then there were the pets. Multiple animals died on the property, sparking endless speculation about whether the house really was cursed. Dogs, cats, even her beloved horses. For fans, it became a grim pattern. For critics, it was proof of her recklessness. But either way, the shadow over the mansion grew darker and darker. Even Princess Andre, Katie's daughter, has now spoken out. She called it a really scary place. She admitted she had bad experiences there. She flat out said she didn't like living in the house, and you can hardly blame her. The chaos didn't stop at ghosts and rubbish. Katie also claimed vandals targeted the property. Cars outside were attacked. Acid was allegedly poured over one of her vehicles. By then, the house wasn't just falling apart physically. It was symbolizing everything that had gone wrong in her life. Her financial collapse, her failed relationships, her broken public image. She even admitted publicly, "I hate that house. I should never have gone back there. Whoever buys it, I warn them, they will get bad luck there." Those are her words. A direct warning. Almost like she was passing on a cursed object. When Katie was declared bankrupt again in 2024, owing a huge amount of unpaid tax, the Mucky Mansion became impossible to hold on to. She finally sold it in 2025 for around $1.5 million, a huge drop from what it should have been worth. And when the deal was done, she didn't mince her words. "I never want to see that house again. I've had nothing but bad memories there for 9 years." She walked away. But could she ever really escape the shadow of the Mucky Mansion? Of course, the Mucky Mansion wasn't her only infamous property. Over the years, Katie has owned a string of glamorous homes, from a luxury Surrey pad with Peter Andre to countryside retreats that promised peace and privacy. But time and again, the same thing happened. Glamour gave way to chaos. Order gave way to mess. And slowly but surely, the walls of every house began to mirror Katie's public unraveling. Even her attempts to renovate or rebrand her homes ended up feeding into the scandal. Instead of a redemption arc, the houses themselves became punchlines. Katie's homes stopped being status symbols. They became exhibits in the museum of her downfall. The final nail in the coffin came when her own daughter, Princess, publicly admitted the house was scary. This wasn't the tabloids talking. This wasn't bitter exes. This was her child, saying the environment was toxic. For fans, it confirmed what they'd long suspected. The Mucky Mansion wasn't just a mess. It was a symbol of dysfunction. A haunted place, filled with bad memories, broken dreams, and lingering ghosts, both real and metaphorical. And now, here's where the story takes its latest bizarre twist. Rumors are swirling that Katie Price is planning a move to Wakefield in West Yorkshire. Wakefield, a city worlds away from the glamour of Sussex mansions and Surrey estates. Known more for its prisons and roundabouts than for celebrity lifestyles. If true, it marks the most dramatic shift yet. From luxury mansions and sprawling estates to Wakefield. Why there? Some say it's about money. Property in Wakefield is cheaper, and after multiple bankruptcies, Katie may have no choice. Others whisper that she's chasing a fresh start, far away from the media glare. But let's be honest, for a woman whose entire life has played out as a soap opera, can anywhere ever really offer a fresh start? Or will she bring the chaos with her, wherever she goes? Katie Price's houses tell the story of her life. Glamour, excess, collapse, scandal. The Mucky Mansion was the peak of it, a cursed palace that became a national joke. And now, the whispers of Wakefield suggest an even stranger new chapter. Because here's the truth. When it comes to Katie Price, the houses may change, but the drama never does. So what do you think? Was the Mucky Mansion truly cursed? And would a move to Wakefield really give Katie the reset she's craving? Or is it just the next disaster waiting to unfold? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more sensational deep dives into the scandals, secrets, and meltdowns of Britain's most infamous celebrities, hit subscribe. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.